there, welcome back to our series on all about syllable types. In today's video, we're going to be discussing open syllables. Now, before we jump in, if you're new here, my name is DiGilio. I was a primary teacher for 23 years, and on this channel, we talk about all things reading instruction, the science of reading research, structured literacy. We go deep into all of those topics. So I would love it if you would click that little subscribe button and that little bell next to it so you're alerted every time one of my new videos goes live. So let's jump in. If you've been following along in our previous videos, you're already familiar with how we map words with closed syllables and with that silent E, magic E syllable type. And today we're going to dive into open syllables, starting with single syllable words and then moving into multisyllabic words. We're also going to discuss that tricky schwa sound that we often see in multisyllabic words. Let's get started. First things first, what is an open syllable? Let's start by understanding what an open syllable actually is. Now, you might remember from our first video that a closed syllable contains a vowel that's closed in by a consonant, allowing that vowel to make its short sound. So give an example like the word hit. The word hit is considered a closed syllable. That vowel is blocked in by an ending consonant. And when it's blocked in with an ending consonant, it makes the vowel say its short sound. An open syllable is a syllable that ends with a single vowel, and that vowel represents its long name or long sound. This means that the vowel is not closed in by a consonant and it's left open. This allows it to be long and clear. Like another way to think of it is open syllables are syllables that end in a vowel. Think of words like go, me, and hi. Those are all open syllable words. Now, if we take a look at this word me with my magnetic letters, this is an open syllable word because the word ends in a vowel and the vowel says its name. It has the long vowel sound. E. It says the long E. This is considered an open syllable. The moment we do this, where we add that consonant T to the word me, it closes in that vowel, and now the vowel says its short sound. This is such an important activity for students that are starting to understand the difference between closed syllable and open syllable. This is a great way of doing it, using the word like me to met, or hi to hit, or go to got. Those are great examples of words to use to show the difference between open syllables and closed syllables. And it's a great activity with magnetic letters as well. It gives the students more tactile approach to understanding this is an open, this is a closed. It's a great activity to do with students. So do you see how important it is to really distinguish between syllable types when decoding words? It's so important. This little change makes all the difference. Me to met, long vowel to short vowel. So important understanding the differences between open and closed syllables. And in fact, this quick activity really helps students solidify their understanding of open and closed syllable types. Have students read an open syllable word and then transform it into a closed syllable word. It's such a powerful activity. This contrast helps draw students' attention to the main distinguishing factor between open and closed syllables, which is the vowel sound. That's what we want to really show here, and we really want to demonstrate. We could do this with another word like I had mentioned before. Let's say we have students make the word go, right? So we have students make the word go. Let's tap out the sounds g, o, go. Okay, now change the word go to got. Go to got. What happens? G, ah. Now, when we close that vowel sound in with the consonant, it changes from a long vowel O to a short vowel O. You could use the word so and sob. So we have so, open syllable, and then sob, closed syllable. So and sob. So and sob. Open, closed. Again, using tactile magnetic letters really helps solidify students' understanding of closing in that open syllable, right? Closing it in with the consonant to make it say its short sound. Just a great activity to do with your students using magnetic letters because it really helps them to have that tactile understanding of open and closed syllables. Now let's jump into mapping single syllable open syllable words. Now that we understand and know what an open syllable is, let's map a few single syllable open syllable words. You always want to start with these single syllable words before you ask students to apply this skill to multisyllabic words. It's so important. Remember, mapping is all about connecting the sounds in the letters, the phonemes, to the graphemes, the letters that represent those sounds. Let's map the word no. First of all, if we're mapping syllables, we also want to think about how we're going to do that and think about how many vowel sounds and syllables are in the word no. Let's clap it out. No. There's only one vowel sound in the word no. So what I would do is I would draw a line to show there's one syllable in that word. Now we can map it. And again, I love mapping words with discs because it just gives students a more tactile approach to matching the sounds to the letters. Let's say the word no, 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 no. Let's tap out the sounds or phonemes in the word no. N-o. Do it again. N-o. Two sounds. I've got two discs. Now let's push up each disc and say the sound. N-o. Okay, what letter or grapheme represents the N sound? N. What letter represents the O sound? O. That is a simple mapping activity. The first sound is represented by an N, and the second sound is represented by a long O. Now, since the O, right, since no and the O is an open syllable, it again makes its long sound. So when we map that word by writing the letters N and O in the spaces where we tapped out the sounds, it makes it that simple to say, okay, this word ends in a long vowel sound, therefore it's an open syllable. Now, before you start hunting for lists of single syllable open vowel words to practice with your students, note that very few single syllable English words have open syllables. This means that once students have a solid understanding of this syllable type, you'll want to quickly move students to work with multisyllabic words with open syllables because these are more representative of words that they're actually going to see in different texts. Now let's move into mapping multisyllabic open syllable words. We're going to take it up a notch and look at multisyllabic words that contain open syllables. Now, often these words have a mix of open and closed syllables, which can be a great way to teach students about the different roles that syllables play in a word. Now, many multisyllabic words contain the schwa sound, but we haven't gotten to that yet. So we'll start with words that do not include the schwa sound. That's so important because you will know that schwa sound is very, very popular and it's very common to see it in multisyllabic words. So we don't want to start with multisyllabic words that have the schwa sound. We do not want to start with it. So the first thing we'll do is we'll start with a multisyllabic word that does not have schwa. So let's take the word robot, for example. The first thing we want to do is we want to split robot into their syllables. Let's clap it out. Ro-bot. Let's do it again. Ro-bot. So we know that there are two syllables in this word. So let's draw two lines. We're going to draw two lines to represent the two syllables. This is important. It really helps solidify the understanding. Two syllable words have two parts to that word. Now remember, when students are mapping multisyllabic words, the first step, as I mentioned, is always counting syllables, like we just did. Robot, robot. So we know it has two syllables, and we drew the two lines to show two syllables. Now, the first syllable is ro. We know that the long vowel sound at the end of a syllable is often represented by the vowel's long sound because it's an open syllable. So now what we want to do is we want to tap out that first syllable. R-o. Do it again. R-o. Okay. R-o. O. Now, what letter represents the R sound? R. We'll write that down. R, O. What letter represents that second sound? O. We put an O. So now we have row. Notice the syllable ends right there in the vowel, and it has the long vowel sound. This is considered an open syllable. So we're going to do consonant, vowel, right? This is a consonant vowel, open syllable. Now what we want to do is we want to go to the second syllable. So we know it's robot. Now focus on that second syllable. Let's tap it out. B, a, t. Again. B, a, t. Remember, don't add that schwa down. B. We don't want to say buh. We want to say b, 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 a, t. Okay, we have 3 sounds. So I'm going to bring my little discs over. What letter represents the b sound in bot? B. So I'm going to put the B here. B. What letter represents the ah sound in bot? O. What letter represents the t sound in bot? T. Okay, so now we have robot. Let's code it. We have a consonant, a vowel, and a consonant. CVC. So we have a CV word, a CV syllable, and we have a CVC syllable. Open syllable, closed syllable. Again, we've already done those, right? They've already experienced closed syllables, and they understand that when the vowel is closed in by a consonant, the vowel makes its short sound. This is how you will map a multisyllabic word. And then you can draw a diagonal line to separate it, because that's sometimes how they'll see it. So separate those 2 syllables by that diagonal line or a dash in the middle, however it is that you feel more comfortable teaching it to your students. I like the diagonal line. Robot. So this is a great way of teaching how to map multisyllabic words. And remember, when doing an activity like this with multisyllabic words, it's really important to make sure students identify the syllable types that they've mapped. This is a CV syllable type or an open syllable, and this is a CVC syllable type or a closed syllable. We want them to recognize that they just mapped an open and closed word. So important. So mapping a word like robot helps students to see that syllable types can change the pronunciations of vowels within a word. Next, let's talk about the schwa sound. The schwa sound is the most common vowel sound in English, and it usually appears in an unaccented syllable. It's a very relaxed sound, like a quick very quick. That very relaxed sound. When mapping, it's really important to recognize when a vowel represents the schwa sound, especially in multisyllabic words. So let's map a 2-syllable word with a schwa sound. Let's take the word sofa as a great example. So if we think about the word sofa, first what we have to do is we have to figure out how many syllables are in the word sofa. Let's clap it out. So-fa, so-fa. We know there are 2 syllables in the word sofa. So I'm going to draw 2 lines because there are 2 syllables in sofa. Having students draw these lines really kind of give them that visual that will help them understand 2 syllables or 2 parts of that word. Drawing those 2 lines really helps that. So again, once we draw the 2 lines, now what we're going to do is we're going to start mapping those sounds. So in the first syllable of the word sofa, we have so. Okay, we have so. So we have 2 sounds. Let's tap it out. S-o. Again, S-o. I'm going to use my 2 little counters because, again, having that tactile really helps. Let's push them up. S-o. Okay, what letter represents the S sound? S. What letter represents the O sound? O. We have S-o. So we have so. Now I'm going to say, what type of syllable is this? This is an open syllable because that vowel is left open and it's not closed in, and it makes the long O sound. That O represents its long sound. So this is a CV syllable type or an open syllable. The next part is the second syllable, which is fa. So-fa, sofa. Now we hear that sound in that second syllable. that's the schwa. And that schwa sound, the A, is not pronounced as ah or a, it's pronounced as Again, the most common vowel sound in the English language. So for the first syllable, so, we mapped it out. And now for the second syllable, fa, we need to map out the F sound to the grapheme F and the schwa sound to the A. Let's take a quick look at that. So if we're looking at fa, I'm going to say, okay, what do we hear? Do it again. We have two sounds. I'm going to bring my two little counters up here and let's push them up. Okay, what letter represents the f sound? F? Good. Now we have the sound. What letter represents the sound? That's the schwa. Now, they'll probably say, if they haven't been explicitly taught the schwa sound yet, they're probably going to say U, right? Because that's the only experience they have. Now, if you've already explicitly taught the schwa sound, then you're good to go. But in this particular instance, we have the sound. And I'll say, if I haven't explicitly taught it, I'm going to say, in this word, sofa, this sound is actually made with an A. This is called the schwa sound, if I haven't explicitly taught it yet. And then again, we're going to have this two-syllable word. This has an open syllable. This is an open syllable and an open syllable. But again, it's a schwa, right? The most common sound. But that's how you would map this word. This is not a closed syllable. It's considered an open syllable. Now, just one thing to be mindful of when you're mapping and talking about syllables is that the schwa sound can vary based on regional dialect. Always pay attention to how these vowel sounds are spoken in your area and adjust your teaching accordingly, because I'm from New York, so it might be very different from someone in the South and how they pronounce it, right? So it's really important to understand and focus on regional dialects. So basically, that is how we are going to map words with an open syllable. Now, there's lots of tools that you can use for mapping. You can use our mapping paddles when you're mapping sounds. We also have our syllable mapping mats, where if you want to map syllable types, we have that as well. And of course, you could just use a basic whiteboard, very easy. So you can use lots of different tools to map syllables and of course, map words as well. And don't forget, if you're new here, we have our brand new magnetic making words product coming soon. This is just a prototype. It's going to look a little bit different, but we are really excited about our new products that are being launched. So again, if you're watching this before it's launched, definitely check the description below to get your hands on this incredible tool that you can use for all of your mapping and syllable mapping activities. Even word chaining you can use this for. So lots of different activities that you can use with the different tools that we have been creating for our teaching community. So we're really excited about it. And again, don't forget to check the description below for some freebies. We've got some mapping mat for you down there. And of course, you can find our mapping paddles on Amazon or in our shop. So we have got you covered when it comes to the different materials that you'll need to do syllable mapping and again, just word mapping as well. But remember, you can always use just a good old-fashioned whiteboard to do your syllable mapping. And there you have it, friends, a very quick crash course on open syllables and how to map them. Remember, mastering open syllables is a key step in helping students understand long vowels and improve their reading fluency. So definitely sneak in as many opportunities as you can to really investigate new words and dig in and help students really encounter and pay attention to these syllable types in words that they come across. That is all from me today. I hope you enjoyed this video on syllable mapping and word mapping as well. And remember, I would love for you to click that little subscribe button and that little bell next to it so you're alerted every time one of my new videos goes live. And don't forget, we are continuing this series as we go through all of the syllable types. So definitely come back to see our next video that's coming in this series. So thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day and happy teaching. Bye for now.